What's up, guys? This is the Gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Now, guys, I want to talk about this story because I see it's blowing up all over the place and it's ever unfolding. And I just think that it's very interesting, guys. You heard me talking about Danny Lalonde last week of Cliffhanger Games and how she proudly proclaimed that she doesn't hire white people, she only hires black people because she wants to have her little safe space and she wants to feel free of microaggressions and all of that. And it just sounds so wonderful, except for one thing. Technically, it is illegal. It's illegal hiring practices is what it is. It's discrimination. It's the very thing that we fight against, or we were supposed to have fought against here in the so-called black community, but not just here, Americans. This was our struggle as people, as human beings. And I talked about that on the video that I did last week. Well, less than a week later, I'm looking at this other story here, and this concerns black girl gamers. Now, this is a story, like I said, is blowing up all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if you've heard it on other platforms and stuff, but due to the fact that I was talking about this over a week ago, and it really just drills down on a couple of things that I've been talking about recently. This, believe it or not, ties into also my take on the whole Candace Owens situation, right? So you have black girl gamers, and they are threatening to take legal action against who is it? It's That Park Place, and also Mark with a K, Kearns, better known as Grums, who is a designer, right? He's a CEO, designer, like all this good stuff, right? And what it is they rightfully pointed out that black girl gamers, they kind of made a little violation when they too did what Danny Lalonde also did, and they said that they put out I guess a hiring announcement, and they specifically said that they want black women. Okay, so it sounds like discrimination. Because I mean, honestly, you might think that this is cute, right? But I believe that someone once told me, if you want to know if it's discrimination, take that very same statement and say, we're putting out a hiring announcement for white men, okay? And watch the whole world catch fire. Rightfully so. But we have to hold ourselves up to those same standards. Now, you guys know in the past, I made the quip that the black community, I mean, we treat ourselves like we're special needs. You know, like, I don't know, like we're special ed or something like that. We deserve special consideration, and standards are supposed to be dropped for us. I disagree. I think that we're supposed to have just as higher standards, or maybe even higher standards than everyone else, just because we preach that particular message. So this is what black girl gamers did. They put out that hiring announcement saying that they only wanted to have black women. And then we had Grums and we had That Park Place point out that this looks like discrimination. And then black girl gamers turned around and threatened legal action against them. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you can't say that about us. And who knows? You know, I don't know black girl gamers. I don't know the workings of their business. Maybe they have hired diverse people, but it's just when you put that out there, I don't think it's anything wrong for people to say, hey, that sounds a little bit discriminatory. I mean, that's what it is. Nobody is filing charges against them for this, but they just can't stand to hear it because, of course, it questions the narrative, right? That black people can be racist. Like I said on the other video about Danny Lalonde. You know, so they don't like to hear about stuff like that because, of course, black people are always supposed to be the perpetual victims. So they filed this lawsuit. They're trying to make a big stink about that. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on. And this hero is Gothix. Okay, you've heard of her, Gothix. And I hadn't heard of her before, guys. You know, it's like I'm you know, doing my own thing and stuff like that. Sometimes I'm a little bit oblivious to what's going on in the larger pop culture. But anyway, Gothix is a black woman. She is black. And Gothix took to Twitter, or X, recently, and she made a very interesting tweet. You still call it tweet, right? It's not called X or something. Yeah, so she made a very interesting tweet, and I want to read it to you guys because this just sets everything ablaze, right? So Gothix goes on Twitter, or X, and she writes, as a former Black Girl Gamers member, I can confidently say these people are full of crap. Talking about Black Girl Gamers, she's saying they're full of crap. They do not, capital N, capital O, capital T, they do not care about diversity. They promptly kicked me out for being anti-black, aka not making an idol out of my skin color and refusing to hate white people. And of course, this is the most disturbing thing about people like this who grandstand on the black thing, because they make it a business to blast their position on these things. You know, they make it seem like there's just this need, there's this overwhelming need for them, for Black Girl Gamers, because as usual, they usually sell this thing by saying, growing up, we never got to see ourselves, and that's the reason why what we're doing is making history. Right? So they try to wedge themselves in by trying to act like this is what needs to happen. We need to have this change, as if there were never Black Girl Gamers before. Knowing my little sister, she might have a word with that because she grew up with me, of course, and we all play games together. So, you know, we have that going on, and they want to make it lucrative. In other words, this is their business. So, of course, they have to sometimes make these headlines, you know, and they have to see sometimes what isn't necessarily there because they want to justify their own existence. You know what I mean? So you have things like Black Girl Gamers. And of course, guys, I am not against Black Girl Gamers. I'm sure there are some lovely people, but at the same time, there's something wrong with your marketing strategy when it depends on you creating racism or creating discrimination where possibly there is none to that particular degree. And in this case, we have a hint of perhaps hypocrisy, which is something that you know I talk about all the time. You know, so you have Gothix talking about this. And I want to also read something else that she wrote here. She says, by the way, most of the vitriol I received from many of their members talking about Black Girl Gamers made it into the final cut of the Gothix documentary. So if they want to talk about receipts, boo-boo, I have them. You know, it appears that she has a documentary about her experience. And she goes on to say also, let me be clear, I have no ill will towards these people, and I'm always praying that Jay-Ann and her crew will eventually have their wake-up moment just like I did. Maybe this is it. Now, this is the part that ties into the Candace Owens piece, because as you know, a lot of black people out here are saying that Candace Owens is having her wake-up call, her NWC, her nigger wake-up call. You know, so, and I made the point when I did the video on Candace Owens, I was saying that most productive, most positive, most ambitious black people usually get their very, very first wake-up call, their first nigger wake-up call in life from niggers. And believe me when I say I am making the distinction between black people, between human beings, and these so-called niggas. I didn't call them niggas. This is the reason why I don't have a problem with saying it. They're the ones who came up with this. I didn't bring this into the conversation. It was already out there. I just commented on it. The so-called nigga wake-up call. So, you think that a black person who's ambitious, who might go through some rough times or even a failure or fall down, you identify them as a nigger who should have known they were a nigger, and now they're waking up to the fact that they're niggers, right? That's the way it is. So when you have Gothix here, what she's saying is they're going to have their wake-up moment just like I did. Their wake-up moment is that these people are not really about what they say they're about. They're about sensationalism. They're about fabricating something that isn't there, just like Juicy Smollett. They must have this thing going on. They must have this in order for them to carve out their little niche in this. Grifters, so to speak, basically. You know, now I've been on Gothix's YouTube channel. You know, I just got through watching one of her streams, and I got to say, this is my kind of girl. I look forward to running into her, and I think I will be very soon. All right, but this is what's going on with this situation. Unfortunately, Black Girl Gamers, you are taking a losing position here. you shouldn't have said what you said, because if somebody white or a different race had said it, you would have put that on your front page. You would have been talking about how wrong it is, how discriminatory it is. And it's no different when we do it. Listen, I'm sorry to tell you, I know that it's a well-kept secret, but black people can be racist too. Black people can discriminate too. And black girl gamers, sisters, this is what you did. There's no lawsuit here. If there's any lawsuit to be had, it would be against you for implying that you discriminate in your hiring practices. What happened to just saying, well, okay, all right, we put ourselves out there. That's not what we meant to say. You know what I mean? Of course we hire everybody. We value everybody. But no, they're too busy allowing these people on the left, what I call them now, the American Society of Magical Liberals. They're allowing them to gas them up and to push them out there and make total jackasses out of themselves. And that's what we see here, guys. So that's my take on this. You know, I say rock on, to Grums. I say rock on to that Park Place, and definitely Gothics, man. You are a force of nature, and I want to know what you guys think about what's going on here, man. It's terrible, but we got to get over this hypocrisy that we have going on in this particular community. And we have to understand, as I said a million times, being black in this day and age is a trap, okay? We got to wake up to this reality, guys. We have to embrace our humanity. This is our default setting. All right, stop identifying with black, because today black is a joke. Black is a losing position. It just is. And I'm pleased to tell you, the good news is that black is not all that you are. You are a beautiful human being with a beautiful skin tone, but you are indeed a human being, and there can be no righteous outrage unless you first embrace yourself as a human with human rights. All right, what is black rights even? It doesn't even mean anything, guys. So we got to wake up to this, guys. So anyway, I've said enough. You can get in the comment section. Let me know your opinions about this. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. I thank you guys for your support. I definitely thank the people who have been hitting that super thanks, and the people also who have been hitting the Cash App. And the link is always in the pinned comment below. Thank you guys for listening once again. I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.